What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Just wanted to kind of check in with you guys. I know we haven't made a ton of content, and as I said in my other videos, just because we're kind of waiting. We're waiting for parts to come to us, and we're waiting for parts to come out. So either at the end of this month, January 2023, or the beginning of next month, sometime early next month, the Berger Motorsports top mount intercooler and charge pipe will be released. And of course, I'm high up on the list to receive that, so I'm gonna definitely have that to install. So we're gonna have a new charge pipe to install. Games looked as if, on the map at least, 10 to 15 wheel horsepower from the larger, a larger, less insulated charge pipe, which is awesome. Here, and then we've got the top mount intercooler. So some of us have seen, the stock intercooler is really efficient up until about 15 psi. Once you get into the higher boost numbers, where you're running, kind of like me, where you're running 20 plus psi depending on the day, the top mount intercooler isn't efficient enough. So we'll definitely be replacing that with the Berger Motorsports top mount intercooler. Then we've got the P&L J-pipe coming. Again, that's kind of back ordered, so I don't know how long that'll take. Hopefully I'll have it by latest March. Once I have that, I think pretty soon after that, I'm sure around March or April, Joey will have his J-pipe and his car Pro-Tunes. I'm assuming Pro-Tune on 93. Once he's Pro-Tuned on 93, I will probably set up a race with him, and maybe we'll race, JB4 E30 with a custom map versus 93 with a Pro-Tune, just because the Pro-Tune, like I said, they have the ability to advance timing naturally. The JB4 does have the ability to advance timing, but it's kind of a back-end tricky way of advancing time. So it's tricking the car rather than setting up more naturally with a Pro-Tune. So he's got a little bit of an advantage there. But we all saw what stock 93 versus the OTS 93 versus the JB4 custom map did. And I was able to get him by about a car, a car or a half a car. So it was pretty competitive. But I think we raced 4 times, and each time I was about a half a car or so ahead. So we know who had the faster car. And it's just now going to be a matter of, once it comes down to us having both having full bolt-ons, who has the faster car then. I will probably assume that it's going to be him. Just how aggressive I've seen some of these Pro-Tunes are. My buddy Charlie with the Harley, he laid down 450 wheel torque, which you got to think at the crank, because of drivetrain loss. That's over 500 torque, which is pretty crazy. And that was just full bolt-ons, top mount intercooler, intake, and turbo back, of course. And then I think he was running he was running E30, which is pretty impressive. So if I'm assuming, if Joey's, running the P&L, add 10 wheel horsepower because of one less cat, and then minus like 30 horsepower, 30 or 40 horsepower because of 93. So I'm assuming, his numbers will probably be, 330 to 350 wheel horsepower, and then around 400 torque on 93. I'm wondering if I can lay down similar numbers on E30. So that'll kind of be the test, and it'll be cool to see, and I think it'll be a lot more fun. The only thing I think we'll maybe consider is maybe if we can find a larger strip, maybe like a abandoned airfield or something, where we could do a longer pull. Because we had limiting factors. We didn't make our way over to a place where it was legal to go triple digits or anything like that. So we basically just did third gear pulls, third I think we did like a third to fourth gear pull, and got up maybe it's like 80 miles an hour, 90, so, but nothing like nothing crazy enough to, hey, you're going to jail today, and neither one of us want that. So we're we'll definitely set it up. We don't live that far away. I think his house is like 4 hours from mine, so the median area is like 2 hour drive for each of us, an hour and a half drive for each of us, something like that. So we'll definitely set up some more meets. I've got a couple other subscribers that also live in South Carolina, which is pretty cool. I'm happy to collaborate with anybody else. I know a couple people have asked about when I'm getting on the dyno. When I'm getting on the dyno will be once I'm fully bolted. You guys have seen enough, stock-ish cars to where they sit. When I get on the dyno, I want it to be, hey, this is all in. We've got the J pipe, we've got the top mount, we've got the charge pipe, we've got the intake. We're running ethanol. What are we laying down? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm going to do some videos on that. I'm also going to do some more content on running E85, because there's two different things you can do. So and I've got a link in my description if you want to do the first thing. So the first thing is you get the Fuel It kit. So the Fuel It kit tells you exactly what your ethanol content is in your car. If you're gonna run an E30 Pro Tune, you need the Fuel It kit, because you don't want to be off. If you're too low on the ethanol, like say it's say one time you fill up and the ethanol content at the new other gas station you use is E70, it's only 70% ethanol instead of 85. And sometimes this happens when you do your mix. Depending on how aggressive they made that tune, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be a dangerous tune. So if you're running ethanol and you haven't tested it, you got to get the Fuel It kit. Second option, cheaper option, is going to be you get a ethanol tester kit, and I've got a link to what I'm talking about in my description in the comment section. The ethanol content tester, they're 10 to 15 bucks, and it's going to test how much ethanol is in the E85. So E85 is supposed to be 85% ethanol. Is it always? No, it's not. There's multiple times where it's going to be 70%. It just depends on the day. So if it's 70%, their mixture is going to be different. It's not massively different, but it might be 1 more gallon of ethanol versus, you might have 5.5 gallons of ethanol to make E30 versus having 4.5 gallons of ethanol. There's a lot of things that go into it, and JB4 is, if you know what you're doing, it's easier in that regard, because if you get a little bit of bad ethanol, you get a lower mixture, and you accidentally undershoot, you can change a couple of the figures and dial it back a little bit, and you're fine, no big deal. But on a Pro Tune, you want it to be spot on. So that's why that's kind of, it's pretty important, a lot more important than people think. And that's the other thing is, depending on where you live. If you live somewhere where they don't have 93, but they have 91, and you're doing the mix, your mixture is going to be different. So to get you an idea, the difference isn't huge, but it is a difference. So 91 with E85, if it's actually E85 and there's not a lesser mixture, it's 4.7 gallons of E85 and the rest 93. E30 mix on 93 is 4.5 gallons, the rest 93. But then you have things, like I said, if for some reason the mixture is only 70%, and then everything changes. So it's really important to kind of keep an eye on everything. You want to make sure that your mixture's right. Just to give you an idea, I went from using one gas station I use pretty much every time to there's really 2 gas stations near me that have E85, and I filled up at a different gas station, and it didn't feel right. Again, I backed things down a little bit, and everything was fine, but just in the couple pulls I did, I was like, the car doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel as it should. It's not pulling as hard, and the AFR is creeping up higher than I like it to. So I adjusted and was able to fix that. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to dial in anybody's tunes, but just know, depending on where you live, we only have so much room. If you're 91 and 91's all you got, and you're not willing to buy the octane booster, like I said, there's only a couple octane boosters I recommend, because octane boosters are points. So if it's 7 points, it's only 0.7, only 0.7 of an octane rating. It's not taking you from 91 to 98. There's only so much power we can make on 91, and we'll push it as hard as you want to push it. I have some people message me and they say, I want to make big power, and I want to be at, I want to be at 11 AFR. Sometimes we got to push it a little harder than that to make the big power. So we might have to push it, on the low end, we might have to push it 13. And then, but then on the top end, we can, clean it up and make it look more, a little bit safer up top. And that's what really matters is, when you got the high boost, high heat, that you have enough fuel up there. But, if anybody has any questions, like I said, if anybody has any questions or, really anything, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to, kind of go over everything with you and explain what you can do and what you can't do, and basically tell you how to do everything on your own. I'm more than happy to go over map by map and do it with you. But I'm going to show you how to do it on your own. So if you ever change your fueling, or if you ever want to make it more aggressive, or just kind of play around with the settings, that's something you can do. One of the best things to do when you're playing around with the settings is to have, I've got one right here, have the Draggy, and I've got a link for that one as well if you're interested in buying one, just to make it easy. But when you're playing around with it, you can set, hey, I want to do a pull, I don't want to do launches because I want it to be simple. But I'm going to do a second gear pull from 20 to 50, and then I make an adjustment and I do another second gear pull 20 to 50, and rinse and repeat. I do X number of X number of 20 to 50 pulls, and I can see how much my time changes. You know, does making it a little bit leaner make my time, 0.2 or 0.3 seconds better? Does making it a little richer make it worse? And you can kind of find your happy median where the car is safe enough and still making great power. And really, like I said, it really just depends on the fuel, because on E30, we've got a lot more room to work. We can bump the boost up, we can bump the timing up, we can really make it very aggressive on E30, and with full bolt-ons, there's no reason why we can't make really high 300 torque or low 400 torque. No reason at all. So, like I said, if anybody's got any questions, just let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and sign out. It's been a little bit longer of a video today, and hopefully you like that.